Hi, and welcome back to the Conscious Movement Community. I'm Tim, and you already know that because you've already been watching. And so today's video, we're going to start off with just a little seated meditation. I'm going to recommend sitting up on a little lift. Sit with your legs crossed so that they're crossed at the middle of the shins. So often the legs, it's a little easier to cross the legs with them crossed at the ankles close towards you. But we're trying to mimic the position of the thigh bones in lotus. So taking the feet forward more so that the legs cross more like the center of the shins. Sit up tall. Let the hip creases release down. Feel your waist tall. Let your shoulders and your chest open. Then rest your hands on your thighs, palms up or down, whatever feels more comfortable. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your breath. Then gently open your eyes and lie down onto your back in Supta Baddha Konasana. Just take a moment to let the body drop and open up. So just let yourself empty. Empty physically, empty emotionally, mentally, psychically. Then bring your knees together and take your feet the width of your mat, and without letting your hips twist, just bring your right leg up into table and then change sides, bring the left leg up. Then as you inhale, arch your lower back, tip your chin towards your chest. And as you exhale, flatten your lower back, tip your chin away. Arch the lower back, tip the chin towards the chest. Flatten and tip the chin away. One more time. Then come into neutral with the lower back and the neck. And we'll practice the leg raising again. Without the hips twisting, use your core. Just notice any little wiggles or twists that want to happen. Try not to let it happen. Isolate from the core to bring the leg up. And then bring both legs up into table. Let the hips settle again out of your lower back. Then stretch your right leg forward, still staying long through both sides of your lower back. Change legs. Change legs. Keep going side to side. Then hold both legs up into tabletop position. Open the arms straight out to the side. And as you exhale, take the knees over to the right a third of the way. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the left a third of the way. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. To center. Exhale to the left. And back to center. Then fingers behind your ears, curl yourself up to your knees. And push your right heel forward. Lower slow. Change sides. Change sides. Change sides. And now add just a little twist towards that knee, the bent knee. Change sides. Keep stretching your hips back of the skull away from each other. Then curl right up in the middle, tuck the abs in tight. Stretch your arms forward and push your right heel. And stretch the left leg out to meet it. Bend your knees, lower your feet back down, open your arms up again, and let your knees swivel over to the right as you look to your left. Change sides, knees over to the left as you look to your right. Come back to center. Then hug your right knee into your chest and stretch your left leg out along the floor. Change legs, hug the left knee in as you stretch your right leg out. Then set that foot down and roll over to your side. Come up onto your hands and your knees. Round your back and look back at your navel as you exhale. Inhale, arch your back, wheel your chest. Go 2 more times with your breath. Then come into neutral. Now check it out, we're gonna try this little variation of bird dog exercise, which is something that we do often. We do this opposite arm leg stretch. So we'll just do it 1 round without the little variation. We'll try, reach your left leg back without your hips twisting and send your right arm forward. Change sides. Okay, now let's try it with the blocks. So you're going to have one hand on the block underneath your shoulder, the other hand on the block underneath your knee, and we're just going to move one side. So make sure that you engage your core and keep your spine long. And then as you inhale, slide the right arm, right leg, left arm. Exhale. Change sides. And then move that junk to the side. And then open up your hands and stretch down evenly through the four corners of your hands. As you lift from the center of your hand up into your inner shoulder, open the inner shoulder. And then curl your toes under and start to stretch back into your first down dog. Inhale into plank pose. Lie on your belly and stretch your arms all the way forward. Just get a nice full body stretch here. Reach through your big toes, reach past your fingers, reach through your crown. Then slide the elbows out to the side and widen from the tops of your shoulder blades into your elbows. Stretch the arms straight back behind you. Bring your hands next to your side ribs. Press up on the hands and knees, keeping the spine long. And stretch into down dog. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Raise your arms up. And release your arms down at your side. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank. Hold in your plank and bring your right knee up without your hips twisting, keeping the spine long. Change legs. Change legs. Change legs. Hold, tuck your low abs in, and then lower down slowly onto your belly. Stretch your arms forward. Turn the thumbs up, press the pinky finger side of the hand down. Then lift your left arm, right leg up just an inch. Change sides. Change sides. Change sides. Bend both elbows out to the side and lift the hands up to shoulder height. Rotate the arms externally as you reach the elbows away from the midline. Stretch both arms straight back behind you. Place your hands next to your side ribs and roll up into cobra or upward facing dog. And stretch back into down dog. Press down even through your hands. Lengthen through your waist as you raise your right leg up. Exhale, bring your knee to the outside of your right armpit. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale to your left armpit. Inhale, back up. Exhale the knee to your chest. Step your foot all the way up by your right thumb. Lower your back knee down. Oh, geez, you're gonna really like this one. Okay, you need the foam roller for this one. With your back knee down, bring your hips back over top of your back knee, then push straight down into the foam roller, and feel the buttocks stretch down towards the back of the left knee as you lift through the front of your pelvis up into your chest. So my feet are pretty wide apart for this one. My hips are back over top of the left knee. And then we should start to get into the psoas for this stretch. If you need to move your hips forward a little, okay, there, now I feel the psoas, without losing the reach of the buttock towards the back of the knee. It's a little different variation than you normally do in your yoga pose. And then you're going to add the left arm. Slowly bring your arm back down and release. Other side. Stretch back into down dog. Let's warm up that hip a little first. So without staying connected in your core, raise your left leg up. Exhale the knee to the left armpit. Inhale back up. Exhale to the right pit. Inhale back up. Exhale the knee to your chest, pull up. Step your foot all the way up by your thumb. Lower your back knee down. So go wider stance. Then bring your hands onto the foam roller and start to stretch the buttock towards the back of the knee. Make sure your hips are all the way back over your knee. You're not leaning forward at all. Stretch from the skin of the lower belly up towards your heart. And then keeping the reach of the buttock, maybe you can move the pelvis. Oh, just a little bit, I get into it. Then as you press the left hand down, start to raise the right arm. And slowly release. Oh, that's a goodie. Bring your hands down and stretch back into down dog. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale into chair pose. Bend your knees, sit your hips back, raise your arms up. Stand and release your arms. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank. Holding your plank, navel up, raise your right leg up just an inch, staying long. Change legs, left leg up just an inch. Set that foot down. Lower slow and controlled. Stretch your arms forward. Press the tops of the feet down as you lift your inner knees. Turn the thumbs up. Then see if you can raise both arms just an inch without the upper traps taking over, without shrugging into the neck. Then bend the elbows out to the side. Stretch both arms straight back. And now lift the legs just an inch. Stretch the buttocks towards the backs of the knees. Bring the hands next to your side ribs. Chest open. Then press up into plank. And stretch back into dog. Raise your right leg up from the inner thigh. Exhale, bring your knee to your chest and pull up. Step your foot all the way up by your thumb. Lower your back knee and inhale, raise your arms up. Now you can let the hips start to sink forward, little different variation. Exhale, bend the elbows out to the side, open your chest. Inhale, arms back up. Bring the hands down, lift the back knee. Plant your left hand flat and spin open. Bring your hand down and step back, downward dog. Raise the left leg up. Bring the knee to the chest, pull up. And step your foot all the way up by your thumb. Lower your back knee. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows out to the side, open up the chest. Inhale, reach back up. Bring your hands down. Lift your back knee and twist. Bring your hand down and stretch back. Now walk your hands all the way back to your feet, one handprint at a time. Bend your knees slightly and roll yourself up to stand. Then bring your knuckles to your temples, elbows out wide. As you exhale, draw the elbows in to open up the back of the scapula. Inhale, open back up. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, open up. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, open up. Then take the arms out to the side, rotate externally, and make little circles with your arms. But keep reaching the knuckles away from the midline and keep your waist tall. Just feel if your lower back tends to bite in on one side. See if you can open both sides of your lower back. And then turn the thumbs internally and start to make little internal circles. And then little bigger ones. And then like you're swimming, but nobody swims like this. This would be like if you're drowning, you start to do arms like this. Drowning arms. And reverse. And then raise both arms up. And as you exhale, twist to your right, spread your arms. Inhale back up. Exhale to your left. Inhale back up. Exhale to your right. Inhale back up. Exhale to the left. Inhale back up. Spread your arms out to the side and fold forward. Inhale into a flat back and walk your hands out one handprint at a time. Bring the feet close together with your chest open. Shift forward and lower slowly to elbow height. Lift back up and stretch back into downward dog. Then step your right foot all the way up by your right thumb. Hug your right outer hip in, lengthen through the midline. Lift from your belly, come straight up through the midline. Bring your hands down, step back into plank. Optional push-up. Stretch back to dog. Step your left foot up by your left thumb. Come up strong through the midline, hip crease back. Don't cheat from your middle. Bring your hands down, step back, optional push-up. Stretch back into down dog. Walk your feet forward to the front. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Bend your knees, sit your hips back. Stand and release your arms at your side. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank. Optional push-up. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot up. This time set up your back heel for warrior one. Reach to the heel. Reach to all four corners of your back foot as you press to the four corners of your feet. Lift from the middle, lift from your arches up. Bring your hands down and step back. Optional push-up. Stretch back to down dog. Step your left foot. Set up your back heel. Reach to the four corners of your back foot. Then left hip crease back, come up strong through the midline. Hands down, step back. Optional push-up or vinyasa. Stretch back into down dog. All right. Then from downward dog, look in between your hands, step or float up. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Stand and release your arms at your side. Where's our strap at? Get your strap or your band, whatever you got. Take your arms out in front of you. Press out into it. Feel your upper two ribs start to widen. Think of the back and the front. And as you widen your upper two ribs, start to take the band up halfway. Press down through the four corners of your feet. Take the band up a little higher. Widen those upper two ribs. Band up a little higher. Widen upper two ribs. Bring the band back down. Again, back out in front of you. Widen your upper two ribs. Activate your arm muscles. Then up as high as you can without losing the width of the upper two ribs. Then lift the outer shoulder blades. And slowly bring your arms back down. Then interlock your fingers in front of you and lift your heels up as you raise your arms. And rebend. Go up a little higher each time you come back up. Press right down in between your big toe mound and second toe mound. Change the interlock. Got all excited. Okay, then step your right leg wide. Where are these blocks at? Set up your blocks if you like some blocks. Turn your left leg in slightly, turn your right leg all the way out. And then tip from your hips out over your leg and place your hand down. Press through the feet again, activate the legs. Lift from the arches up into the hip sockets, up into the upper two ribs. And then reach your left arm all the way over your ear. Inhale, come back up, and change sides. Press down through those feet. Don't lose the back foot as the right arm goes over. And come back up. Turn the legs for triangle. And reach out. Keep stretching down through the four corners of your feet. And see if you can connect it to the length of your waist. Four corners of the feet. The waist lengthens down into the feet and up into the chest. Come back up and change sides. Inhale back up. Then join your legs together for a moment. Raise your arms up. And then drop your right arm to the side as you side bend over to the right. Come back up and change sides. Come back up, take your legs wide apart for Ardha Chandrasana. Left leg turns in a little, right leg turns all the way out. Reach out and place your hand down. Then bend your knee, slide your hand a foot in front of your pinky toe as you raise your back leg. Find the four corners of your foot again. Lengthen the waist, the bottom of the waist through the reach of the back heel. And then lengthen the middle and top waist through the reach of the side ribs, chest, sides of the skull. Come back, triangle pose. Press to your feet and turn your legs to the other side. Reach out into triangle. Bend your knee, slide your hand. Feel the four corners of the foot connect as you stretch the back leg. And slowly come back into triangle pose. Press into your feet, come back up to stand. Then step up to the top of your mat, Tadasana. So we're gonna do this kind of like old school sequence today from Light On Yoga, the standing poses. This is a book that I highly recommend checking out. Rotate the arms externally and reach up. And fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back to down dog or take a vinyasa, your call. Then from down dog, step your right foot all the way up by your right thumb. Set up your back foot for warrior one. Now I'm going to recommend you have your 2 blocks right out in front of your right foot, like so. Lift from your navel, come up into warrior one. Then lean your chest out and slide the blocks a foot in front of the foot. Then start to lean the weight into the four corners of your foot as you raise the back leg. And make sure that you can feel all 4 corners of your right foot descend and your hip balance right over your ankle. Then connect into the length of your spine. Find the danda quality of your spine. I should be able to put a stick on your back heel and it would touch the back of your skull. Everything would be nice and even in between. Nothing sinking, nothing rounding. Now just feel the muscles in your hip turning on in your leg that don't normally work like this when you're in Warrior 3. It's good to train with the hands down so we can train the right muscles to turn on. Feel how long the waist feels, how long the spine feels. Now see if you can maintain that as you take one arm back. Oh geez. Feel the right hip crease still releasing back as you're reaching your chest, and then both arms back. Then bend the right knee, step back into warrior one. Bring your hands down to the mat, step back, downward facing dog, or take a vinyasa. Step your left foot up by your left thumb. Come up into warrior one. Oh, that's kind of weird. Kind of cheat from my core on this side. Got to go a little slower. If you ever catch yourself cheating, slow is the answer. The speed will take you back into your old ruts, like your old grooves. And if you want to get into a new groove, you got to go a little slower so you can feel. That's kind of what I've learned. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, then start to lean your chest out. Always learning something new. That's good. Slide your hands a foot in front. Now feel all 4 corners of the foot and see if you can use your core to slide yourself into it. No momentum, no hopping, no cheating. Feel the weight on the heel, inner and outer front foot. Make sure the hips and the waist are level. And then breathe. Breathe the length into your spine. Now see, without sinking, without rounding, could you take one arm back? Stay even on that foot. Maybe both arms back. And then big step back into warrior one. Bring your hands back down. Step back into dog or take a vinyasa. Look in between your hands, step or float up to the front. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold. Then lift your heels up, lower your buttocks to your heels, take your arms forward. Turn your palms up, hook your triceps back into your shins. Carve out your lower belly. Then start to lean into your arms and see if you could balance on your arms, or at least pretend like you're going to balance. Good, then set the toe mounds back down. And now bring the arms into internal rotation, hands behind the heels. Then from here, arms forward, heels down, buttocks down, tail down, scoop the belly, and lift the legs. And then without sinking in your lower back or in your chest, see if you could raise the legs up. Then bend knees and round onto the sacrum lower back. Arms forward. Stretch one leg, keep the abs tucked in. Change legs. Change legs. Change legs. And then come up. Just kidding. Come up in the boat pose. You know you want to make the sound too. Cross your legs and stretch back into down dog. Or you could jump back for a vinyasa. Walk your feet up. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale into chair pose. Bring your hands to your heart, shift your weight over into your right heel, and step your left leg back into crescent. Then lean your chest out over your knee, and twist. Hook your left elbow to your knee. Bring your fingertips down, step your back leg forward, and fold. Sit back, chair pose. Shift the weight over into the left heel, hands to prayer. Step back, and lean your chest out, twist. Bring your hands down and step your back leg forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms. Exhale, release your arms at your side. Then step your left foot back about 3.5 feet. Tip from your pelvis and stretch out over your right leg. Bring your hands onto your blocks and make a flat back. Okay, so I'm working with this variation lately. Like all in the 3-day challenge, we were like flexion, flexion, flexion. And then I started to feel in my own body, working so much flexion, that I started to feel a little instability. So as a result, I figured maybe some other people might be feeling some of the same instability, and for a little while we should work on strengthening the core in with the what do you call it? What we're holding Parsvottanasana. So to be able to get the stretch of the legs and the elongation of the spine is super important. So I want you, that's why we're focusing on this for the next couple months. Now, it's not to say that the flexion is really important. It's going to be really important for all of your seated poses. But before we can get into it, we have to be able to get the spine muscles healthy enough to hold the spine just in this neutral position. Okay, now let's try adding the twist. So bring your left hand to the outside of your right foot. Press down through the four corners of your feet as you bring your right hand to your hip. Do not lose the four corners of your feet, even if you can't twist as much. Look down, stay humble, connected into the feet as you spin the back ribs into the left hand. Turn, 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 and the chest will start to turn. Soften your belly. Breathe all the way down into your pelvis. Don't lock the knees, press through the four corners of the feet. Then bring your hand back down. Step your back leg forward. Come up to stand. Change sides, step your right foot back. Tip from your hips, start to go forward. Come up onto the tall blocks and elongate. Now if you go and you look in, you catch your reflection or you look in a mirror and you can see that your back looks like this, even on the blocks, then it'd be better to put your hands on the seat of a chair. So you could practice like that and then start to work the leg straight. Then bring your right hand to the outside of the foot. Now connect into the feet before you even put your hand on your hip. Keep reaching through the four corners of your feet. Soften the navel turn. Stretch the back ribs down, back of the right shoulder down into the right hand. Don't lose the feet. Then bring the hands back down and step your back leg forward and stand in mountain. Good, then shift the weight into the left foot, bring your right knee up, reach onto the inside of the knee and take the big toe. Feel the right hip crease release down and see if you can start to stretch the right big toe out to the side. Then bring the leg forward, straight out in front of you. And slowly release. Shift the weight over into the right foot, bring the left knee up. Lengthen through the waist. And then see if you can start to stretch the leg out. And then slowly back to center. And release. Good. Then let me show you this little variation of that pose that I love to start to work on the core and the legs, which we're kind of focusing on today. So you take your foot to a wall, but you have to make sure that you're like pretty appropriate legs distance away. Take some finagling to get just right. Okay, cool. Then as your hip creases release down, you feel the waist lift up tall. Reach the four corners of the feet into the wall and the floor. And then slowly start to raise your arms up without leaning back at all. And this is going to tell you, anything that we do with our limbs should be able to be supported from the core. So like any athlete, anybody that, any other type of exercise, you should feel that your core is supporting the movement. This is a great way to feel if you're able to. Bring your arms back down, leg back down, and you don't have to take the leg as high. If you can feel you're not flexible enough, you just take the leg a little lower, whatever. Okay, let's see. And this is like a really important preliminary for handstand. If you want to be able to do a handstand, you got to be able to do this first. Good, slowly release. Ooh, I could feel all that stretch, all that stuff opening up. Okay, now take Prasarita, legs wide apart, tip from your pelvis, bring your hands down, and then let's start to slide the hands forward, either on the block or on the floor. Then walk your hands over towards your right ankle. Walk your hands over to the left ankle. And to get a little bit more elongation from the spine, I'm propping the left hand and then stretching the right side body through the right arm and like leaning deeper into that stretch, but kind of using the prop with my left hand to make sure that I'm not sinking into my spine. Then come back to center, and as you inhale, make a flat back. As you exhale, walk the hands back and turn the fingers back. Let your head drop. Inhale, flat back. Now let's take the escape route out of this one. Walk around to the front of your mat. And then step back into downward dog or vinyasa time. Now in down dog, lift your heels way up high and then spin your heels all the way over to the right. Ooh, get into that side body stretch a little more, into the lats. Spin the heels back up and to the left. Heels back up. Then set your left knee down, left hand down, and open up into side plank. Hold here with the knee down or slide your left leg out behind your right. And slowly come into plank. Change sides. Hold with the knee down or slide your right leg out behind your left. And then come back to plank. Then set your elbows down onto the mat. Bring your, roll onto spin the heels all the way over to the left, come to side plank with the left elbow down, right hand behind your ear. Then as you exhale, bring the elbow towards the other elbow. And as you inhale, turn back open. Exhale. Inhale. Slowly change sides. Right elbow down. Heels go over to the right. Left hand behind your ear. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Bring both elbows down. And with the hands shoulder distance apart, elbows right underneath the shoulders. Open the collarbones. Keep the belly pulled up. And then slowly lower your pubic bone down. Oh, jeez. I'm getting into the zone for a second here, hold on. Oh. Okay, check it out. This next one's kind of fun, especially if you have tight shoulders, upper back. You just have to make sure that the twist isn't coming primarily from your lower back. If it is, you can bend the knees a little. So I take in the hands the width of the mat, the feet the width of the mat. I have to adjust the microphone, otherwise I'm gonna crush it. Okay, so then from here, keeping elongation from my neck and my abs in, I'm going to spin open to the side, and I keep reaching the arms, and I do a little bend in the knee so I keep the stretch of the buttocks out of the lower back, and then change sides. You got it, it's that easy. Keep elongating the spine as you hold. Buttocks out of the lower back, back of the skull away from the butt. Okay, good. Then bring your hands next to your side ribs. Roll your chest open. And then, what's up, dog? Come on up. And lower back down onto your belly. Come up onto hands and knees. Put this thing back on. And then from here, let's practice our forearm down. Rotate the arms externally, and then slowly start to lift the hips up, 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 up. But keep rotating the arms, pressing the forearms down. Two more breaths here. And then slowly lower your knees down with your toes curled under. Stretch your hips back towards your toes. And then walk your hands back towards your feet and upright yourself. Then bring your hands behind your head and open up lean your head back into your elbows a little bit, open up the pectorals. Okay, and then Let's see, we'll do a variation of rabbit to help to work the shoulder blades in the neck. So come onto the crown of your head, but lift your shoulder blades as you reach the crown of the head down. And then slowly release. That's enough for people with neck issues. If you got neck issues, don't screw with that one. Otherwise, neck healthy, no cervical compression. Let's practice the preparation for Shirshasana. Crown of the head goes down. Otherwise, you just practice the one with the head elevated. Hold there with the head down as you rotate the shoulders. And then curl toes, lift knees, lift hips. But keep lifting your shoulder blades out of your ears. So it's almost like there's no weight in your neck. And then maybe lift up onto the tiptoes. Still a little weight in the neck. Press the forearms. And then lower down, child's pose. Come up onto your hands and your knees. Then let's go low lunge, right foot forward, left knee down. Hold there or reach back with your hand for your foot or your ankle. Release that and change sides. Release that. Then come onto your hands and your knees for forearm stretch. Fingers point back, thumbs point out to the side. Open up the hands. And then maybe even start to stretch the hips back without losing the opening of the back of the neck into the hands. Good, then come into Virasana. Block or blocks always welcome. Take the hands back a foot behind you. Roll the chest, shoulders open. And slowly release. Then let's get our friend the foam roller for a little bit of thoracic extension. Where is that sucker? Lie down with your upper back on the foam roller, just at the bottom of your bra line. As you inhale, roll the chest over. Ooh, snap, crackle, and pop. As you exhale, curl up. Inhale, slide up the roller a little higher up your back. And work your way all the way up to the bottom of the blades. And then you can hold there or even stretch the arms over. and come back up. Really good, especially after all that compressing in the headstand. Hopefully you weren't compressing though. Okay, then let's hold a Sarvangasana variation to balance out the headstanding. So lift your hips up and slide your block underneath your sacrum. This one is so important, especially with all the sitting that we do. Okay, so when you sit, your leg is in this position all the time. And as a result, your iliopsoas and your hip flexors, they learn from that and they're like, let's just be chronically short all the time. That's what they tell each other. They're like, hey, we don't need to ever lengthen again. It's not important. This guy never stands up. So then when you go to stand up, they're kind of like this and they're like, let's just kind of stay a little, we'll make him like arch his back to like give him the illusion that he could stand up straight. Okay, so let's get these to open up, but at the same time, you got to lengthen your lower back because they're going to try to pull your back into extension, your lower back. So as you reach through from the outer hips right here, pin these in and down as you slowly start to stretch your right leg out. And then visualize right here at your sacro-lumbar connection that you feel there's space there. You're creating space as you stretch this leg out. And then maybe if you're good at it and the hip flexors are participating with you, you could stretch both out at the same time. This one's sticky. I gotta release it a little. Deep exhalation into the hips. If you feel it going into your lower back, just keep one knee bent. Your hip flexors are too tight. Don't try to force it just because I'm doing it. Then slowly bend that knee. Bend the other knee. Bring one leg into table. And then straight up. Other leg into table. Straight up. Still keep the stretch through the lower back. Then cinch the legs in like I had ropes on them. Tighten up the leg muscles. Bend one knee and set the leg down. Bend the other knee, set the leg down. Lift hips up. Move block to the side. Lower your hips down and open your arms out to the side. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and slowly let your legs fall over to the left. Come back to center, change the cross, and slowly let your legs fall over to the right. Come back to center, hug your knees in, and roll up to seated. Then sit with your legs in Upavista Konasana. Bring your hands to your side. As the sit bones release down, grow tall to the sides of the spine all the way up through your neck. Then start to lean the hips forward slightly, or sorry, tip forward slightly until you find the front of the sit bones. Then bring the hands in front of you. And you can start to walk further, maybe even come onto the elbows, but still get the feeling that the whole spine is participating in the forward and down movement evenly. Come back up. Bring right leg into Janu Shirshasana. Twist and sit up tall. And then start to stretch out over your leg or work on elongating. Again, kind of like the theme of today's class, we're working on decompressing and creating space for the spine. So really important to work these like preliminary variations. Even if you're advanced enough to grab your foot and put your head down, it's good once in a while to work on strengthening your core and creating health in all those muscles of the spine that you sometimes might skip, even if you can put your head on the ground. Come back up and change sides. Come back up, then cross knee over knee. And if that's difficult to sit like this, then you can put a block underneath you. Sit tall with the chest open. And if the right knee is on top, the right arm goes behind your back from under. Other arm goes from above. All right, then start to reach. If you have the fingers, pull in opposite directions. If you don't, pretend like you have the fingers bound and you're pulling the elbows in opposite directions. And then release that. Bring your fingertips in front of you and work on elongating as the hip creases release down. Come back up. Change the cross of your legs. Take the other arm from below. Stretch the other arm up. Bend your elbow. And then release that and start to tip forward. Just working totally upright might be a deep enough stretch for you. It might be difficult to get the hips to release, so you could just work on elongating the spine as the hips release down. That's a really important action that you should get before you start to try to go forward. Then stretch your legs out and come into Paschimottanasana. Lie down on your back for Shavasana. Feel the space between your fingers, the space between your toes. Feel the space in the inner leg pits, and the armpits. Feel the spaces in the joints. Feel or imagine the space between the cells of the body, each and every cell. More and more space. Visualize the body, the inner body as being very spacious. So when we get stressed out, we feel small, limited, and the body feels very dense, compact. So you can always go back to this type of meditation. You could just lie down or sit for a moment and feel all the inner space. Feel the space for the breath to move now. Then take a fuller, deeper breath in and out through your nose. Completely let go. Gently bend your knees and roll over to your right side. Press up to seated. Sit up straight and tall. Join your palms together. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Hey, I'd like to know what you want to see in the future for these. If there's any poses that you want to learn about, any things you have questions about, take a moment, go onto the Facebook community page right now. Just drop me a line. Let me know what's up. Love hearing from you on there, and hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time.